Jai Hind everyone. I'm Dr. Nitisha Shrivastava in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Ajay Kumar Gar Engineering College in Ghaziabad in Uttar Pradesh in India. We will continue with the different rules being discussed to draw the root locus. The previous rules, rule 1 to 5, has been covered in the previous lecture, and from rule 6 to 10, we will cover in this lecture. So, the basic definition of root locus is nothing but a graphical method in which the roots of the characteristic equation are plotted in the S-plane for different values of the parameter. The varying parameter here is K, that is the gain K. It could be any parameter in the control system design process which could vary from the initial to the end point. Consider a closed loop system. The basic open loop transfer function, closed loop transfer function is Gs upon 1 plus Gs Hs, and Hs is the feedback transfer function. Therefore, the characteristic equation here is 1 plus Gs Hs is equal to 0. So, what is exactly locus? What we are discussing is, it is the roots of the characteristic equation when gain is varied from 0 to infinity. So, we are plotting the root locus on a graph. As the previous rule says that when on a S-plane the root locus is plotted, root locus is symmetrical about the x-axis and it starts at an open loop pole and ends at an open loop 0 or ends at infinity. Now, those branches of root locus which tend to infinity, now they need a path where it is going, at which angle, from which angle it has to reach the infinity. So, the rule number 6 and rule number 7 tells us about the root locus which tend to infinity. So, now these asymptotes cross the real axis at a point known as centroid. So, in rule number 6, we find out what is the centroid. So, those branches of root locus which tend to infinity, they do so along a straight line known as asymptotes. So, the formula for finding the centroid is sum of poles minus sum of zeros upon number of poles minus number of zeros. So, if number of poles we are defining it as P and number of zeros as Z. So, how many branches tend to infinity is P minus Z. If there is 1 0 and 3 poles in the system, then 2 of the root locus branches will tend to infinity. And what is the centroid? That is the center of gravity of those asymptotes is defined by this formula. Now, the rule number 7 states that what is the angle of those asymptotes? Now, if the angle or if the branch of the root locus is tending towards infinity, then what is the angle at which it is moving? Like, for example, is it going in this path, it is going in this path, or it is a straight line, or this direction? This has been decided by the angle of asymptotes. Okay. Now, what is the formula to find angle of asymptotes? It is phi a 180 degree into 2q plus 1 upon p minus z. P minus z, again number of poles minus number of zeros. Q stands for 0, 1, 2 and 3. P is number of poles and z is number of zeros. Therefore, the total number of asymptotes will be P minus z. That is those branches which are going towards infinity. So, let's take an example of finding out the angle of asymptotes and the centroid. For example, we have an open loop transfer function GSHS as k upon s into s square plus 6s plus 10. Now, the number of zeros here is nil. We don't have any zeros here, but there are 3 poles. The pole locations, one pole is S is located at the origin. Therefore, one pole we have at origin, and there are 2 complex poles, -3 plus J1 and -3 minus J1. As we said, that the root locus is symmetrical about the real axis. So what would be the centroid? Centroid is sum of poles. Sum of poles is 0 plus -3 plus J1 -3 minus J1 upon P minus Z. So what is P? P is 3 and Z is 0. So nil, that is 3 minus 0. That is -6 upon 3, which is -2. So centroid of this open loop transfer function is -2. And what are the angle of asymptotes? That is decided by this formula. Phi A is equal to 180 degree into 2q plus 1 upon P minus Z. So taking q is equal to 0, we get the first angle as 180 degree, 2 into 0 plus 1 upon 3. So this comes out to be 60 degree. That means one of the angle of asymptote is 60 degree. Now for q is equal to 1. That is, let us say phi A2. So it will be 180 degree, 2 into 1 plus 1 upon 3. So this comes out to be 180 degree. That means another angle of asymptote is 180 degree. And we have 3. So the third angle of asymptote will be 180 degree into 2 into 2 plus 1 upon 3. So this comes out to be 300 degree. Right? So the centroid is found to be -2, and these are the angle of asymptotes. Like here -2 is the centroid, so this is, let us say, -1 and this is -2. So -2 is the centroid, -2 is the centroid, and at this point we have 3 angles. One is this 60 degree, the other 180 degree, this angle, and the third one is 300 degrees. So these are the angle of asymptotes, and -2 is the centroid. Let us take one more example here to know how do we find out the centroid and the angle of asymptotes related to rule 6 and rule 7. So GSHS is k upon s into s plus 1, s plus 2. So we have one pole at the origin, another pole, real pole at -1, and another real pole at -2. So the pole locations are 0, -1 and -2. 0, -1 and -2. -1 and -2. So we have 3 poles here. To find the centroid, the sum of poles minus sum of zeros upon P minus Z. So sum of poles here is 0, -1, -2. Then we don't have any zeros upon P minus Z. How many poles are here? There are 3 poles, whereas nil zeros. So this comes out to be minus 3 upon 3, that is minus 1. So centroid for this transfer function is minus 1. So this is the centroid. Again, to find the angle of asymptotes, we have the similar formula to find the angle of asymptotes. Now this comes out to be one as 60 degree, the second one as 180 degree, and the third one as 300 degrees. Right? This is based on the formula. It is based on this formula, the angle of asymptotes. So rule 6 and rule 7 are related to. Rule 6 allows us to know what is the centroid with this formula, and rule 7 allows us to know the angle of asymptote. So what is that? The branches of root locus which tend to infinity, they do so along a straight line called the asymptotes. Right? So these are the two things for those branches which tend to infinity. Next rule is rule number 8. Rule number 8 talks about the saddle points, that is the breakaway points. Now, when the root locus starts at an open loop pole, if on the real axis, and it has to tend to infinity, so it will break at a certain point on the real axis and then reach the infinity. So this breakaway point on the real axis is nothing but the solutions of dk by ds, differentiation of the equation k with respect to s, and need to equate it to 0. So breakaway points are points at which multiple roots of the characteristic equation occur. So that is the point on the real axis where the poles from where the root locus started on the real axis leave that real axis. Multiple poles come to that point, multiple root locus come to that point and move away. Right? So that is the breakaway point. And it is, since it is about the root locus, so breakaway point will always lie on a root locus. As we know, all the parts of the real axis cannot be part of the root locus. It is decided by how many poles are, or how many poles plus zeros are on the right side of that particular point. So they are also known as the saddle points, and they are solutions of the expression dk by ds equal to 0. Let's see one example here. Now, if we have an expression, the open loop transfer function as k upon s plus 1 into s plus 2 into s. So, what is the characteristic equation? Characteristic equation is 1 plus GSHS. 1 plus GSHS is the characteristic equation. Now, we are using this 1 plus k upon s into s plus 1 because GSHS is k upon s into s plus 1 into s plus 2. This characteristic equation is equated to 0. Upon equating it to 0, we see that the expression for k is minus 1 into s plus 1 into s plus 2. So the expression here becomes, when we take this, the next step of this, it comes out to be s into s plus 1 into s plus 2 plus k. The denominator part is s into s plus 1 into s plus 2. This is equal to 0. So what is this expression for k from this? The expression for k from this is k is equal to, when you take it on the other side, this is what the expression comes out to be. K is equal to minus 1 s into s plus 1 into s plus 2, because it's moving on the right hand side. So solving this, we get k is minus taken as outside, and the solution of this is the complete third order polynomial comes out to be s cube plus 3s square plus 2s. Now this is k. So we are going to find dk by ds of minus s cube plus 3s square plus 2s. When this is solved, that is solution of this, when the differentiation takes place, we get, after solving dk by ds, the two solution which comes out is s is equal to minus 0.43 and s is equal to minus 1.57. So there are two solutions here, and because breakaway points lie on the real axis, these are the two real values. Now let us locate the poles here. Pole here, one is at the origin, the other at minus 1 and the other at minus 2. Now, which part of the real axis is part of the root locus? That is decided. This is one pole here and another pole here. Now, the right hand side should be an odd number. The sum of poles plus zeros from that point should be an odd number on its right side. So when I look from here, when I look from this part, which is beyond this minus 1, between minus 1 and 0, I find that there is one pole at the origin. It means that it's an odd number. Therefore, this part of the root locus, this part of the real axis is part of root locus. And then when I look from the left hand side of minus 1 till minus 2, I find that the sum of poles and zeros to the right side is an even number. Therefore, between minus 2 and minus 1, that part of the real axis is not not a part of the root locus. And when I look from when I go beyond minus 2 on the left side, I find that the sum of poles plus zeros to its right is an odd number. That is 1, 2 and 3. And 3 is an odd number. Therefore, this part of the real axis is part of root locus. Now, since we have two solutions here, 0.423, 1.577. The breakaway point is minus 0.423 for the simple reason that the point minus 0.423 lies on the root locus, whereas minus 1.57 is somewhere here, which is not part of root locus, so it cannot be a breakaway point. So breakaway point for this open loop transfer function k upon s into s plus 1 into s plus 2 is s is equal to minus 0.423 and not minus 1.577. So these are the basic properties, rule 6 to rule 8, which is part of drawing a root locus on a graph paper. Rule 9 and rule 10 will be covered in the next lecture. Thank you.